Thank you. Thank you. At this time, the chair recognizes Councilman Henon, who will present a resolution honoring Father Judge High School students Jack Flynn and Dylan Feby. Would Jack Flynn and Dylan Feby, Ed Harrington, and those accompanying him please join the councilman at the podium. And we also have Councilman Greenlee, Councilman Dom, Councilwoman Gim, and Councilman Taubenberger, and Councilman Green.
Well, good evening, or good morning, everybody. And before we start with the presentation and the folks are joining us here, I have to tell you this is an impressive story that deserves the accolations and the recognition that it deserves. You'll hear in the resolution the story behind why we're here and why we're honoring these two young men. You have a freshman and a senior who acted instinctively, where most people would just walk by. And you see on some of these reality TV shows and some of these prank shows where you have, these setups for responsive people, and normally people ignore situations. Right? These two young men saved a person's life by instinctively jumping in while the rest of the bus that they were on sat there, while people out front walking the street kept walking by. And it is quite remarkable that these kids who were get up, go to school, doing their normal routine, go to catch a bus, a SEPTA bus, public transportation, to go home, and an individual who attempted suicide, who obviously had some deep issues that they were dealing with or could not deal with, ran into the bus. These two kids were on the bus, and they were off the bus as quick as he hit the bus. And, the measures that they took without having any knowledge of being a paramedic, an EMT, or CPR, all right, they quickly took off the clothes that they were wearing, off of their sweater, and applied a tourniquet on a laceration on the neck, and noticed the scene as they were in seconds. Noticed that there were wrist lacerations and a neck laceration, bleeding profusely. And they were told upon the arrival from our emergency medical responders, all right, that if it wasn't for their quick actions, as quick as they did, and the actions that they took to stop the bleeding, to keep the man alive and coherent until the medics responded, that gentleman would not be here with us today. So it is an amazing story. So today we are honoring Father Judge High School students Jack Flynn and Dylan Feby for their heroic actions on February 7th, 2017.
Whereas, rooted in the spirituality of their patron, St. Francis de Sales, Father Judge High School educates the whole young man spiritually, intellectually, physically, emotionally, and socially in the Catholic tradition. And whereas the motto of Father Judge High School is educating the minds and souls of their students in the spirit of the gentleman saint, St. Francis de Sales. And
whereas on Thursday, February the 7th, 2017, never were these qualities more evident as senior Jack Flynn and freshman Dylan Feby, both students at Judge, began what is normally a routine journey from home to school on their usual SEPTA Route 20 bus. And whereas the bus was en route when an unidentified male was spotted running towards the moving bus in an attempt to be deliberately hit. And
whereas the man bounced off the bus and fell to the ground. The bus door was opened and Jack noticed the man was bleeding from his neck and wrist in an apparent suicide attempt. And whereas Jack and Dylan sprang into action, using their judge sweaters to stop the bleeding from the man's neck and wrist and waited for him until an ambulance arrived. And whereas paramedics reached the scene and were very appreciative of the boy's actions in assisting in saving this man's life. And
Jack Flynn will be getting ready to graduate in June and is planning to join the United States Navy soon thereafter. It's Jack's dream to follow in his father's footsteps and become a Philadelphia firefighter. Jack is proud to be a member of the Father Judge ice hockey team and lives with his parents and younger brother. And
whereas Dylan Feby is currently a freshman at Judge and enjoys playing basketball, Dylan is also interested in astronomy. It is his hope to continue his education after graduating from Judge and major in engineering. He resides with his mother and stepfather and enjoys hanging out with his father and 2 younger sisters. And now, therefore,
Be it resolved by the Council of the City of Philadelphia that we hereby honor and congratulate Father Judge High School students Jack Flynn and Dylan Feby for their heroic actions on February 7, 2017. Resolve further that an engrossed copy of this resolution be presented to Jack and Dylan, further evidencing the grateful appreciation and deep admiration of this legislative body. And I also want to add in closing that, I want to thank the parents of these 2 young gentlemen who have an incredible future, all right, to have instincts like that. They're good people. Good people do good things. And great people, all right, who come from good families and have the opportunity to be a part of the community. You should be honored of their heroic actions. You should be honored them as fine young men. And to the school, Father Judge, I happen to be a product of Oblates of St. Francis de Sales, and I have to tell you, Father Judge does a wonderful job in making sure that family and community come together, all right, for the service of good and for all good men and women. So you should all be proud, and I want to thank you all and congratulations to you.
And the chair recognizes Mr. Harrington for remarks.
Good morning.
Morning.
It goes without saying that how proud we are, Father Judge, on behalf of the administration, of these 2 young men. In a world today where a lot of young people kind of maybe get a bad rap or they have their earbuds in on their cell phones, here's 2 young men that didn't think. They simply saw something happen to an individual and they just sprang to action. And when they told me the story, I saw the pictures, I was just blown away. Their character development in school, we pride ourselves in character development. That started a long time ago with their parents. The Northeast Philadelphia neighborhoods they grew up in, these are great kids, and they have bright futures. And we are so proud of them, and thank you.
Thank you. Council Biddies.
So we're going to come around up front.
Thank you.